Now this one's going to be the shortest one so far. Incredibly simple. We're finding the zeros of functions. Now, if you look at this graph of this line here, and I ask you, what is the zero of that function? That may not make any sense because you may not understand what a zero is. Well, zero is a number that you would put into a function to get zero out. And when you're looking at a graph, that would represent the point that has a y coordinate of 0, right? What number would you put in to get a 0 out? That's going to be a y coordinate of 0, and that's going to be your x-intercept. Okay, so your 0 of a function and your x-intercept are very, very closely related. The 0 is what number would you put into the function to get 0 out. In this case, it's 3. So that's the 0. And the x-intercept of the function is that point. So 3 comma 0 is the x-intercept. I really think that's a silly distinction. If I say the x-intercept is 3, I know what I'm talking about. I know that's a graph, a point on the graph with an x-coordinate of 3 and a y-coordinate of 0. So if you're looking at a graph and you're asked what the 0 is, just find the x-intercept, that's your 0, and write it as a point with a comma 0, that's your x-intercept. Couldn't be easier. Now we can make it a little bit more difficult here. We got f of x equals 2/5 x minus 10. If we want to know the 0 of that function, the way we find it is we want to know what number we put in for x to make an output of 0, or in other words, what is it that's going to make this expression equal to 0? Well, now we have an equation, a really simple equation. Add 10 to both sides, get 2/5 x equals 10. Multiply both sides by 5. I just distribute through like that, and that gives us 2x equals 50. Divide by 2, we get x is 25. And if you want to, you can check. You could graph that and find the x-intercept, and you'll find that it's at 25. So our 0 is 25, and our x-intercept is 25 comma 0. That's all there is to finding zeros of functions.